Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. 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 Today's gonna be a good day.
Big hand, Joshua the Bull.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy WrestleDrop. I'm back with another interview, getting ready for the Arnolds, which you know we'll be at. And another person who's going to be there is Joshua the Bull. I'm sure you've seen him on YouTube, on Instagram, all of those things. All his links will be down below, so go check that out, guys. But Joshua the Bull, who are you? How did you get into wrestling? That's the first question I have to ask, because not everyone knows South African wrestling, and that's our idea. We want to push South African wrestling to the top, and of course, to do that, we got to get the Bull on you. So tell us about yourself.
Hello there, guys. To answer that question, I was very passionate about wrestling from the time I was a kid. You know, like watching WWE. I used to watch like different wrestling promotions, but I was a huge fan of WWE, of course. Watching guys like The Undertaker, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Goldberg.
All the big names.
And whenever those guys step into the ring, I used to get very excited. And you should imagine how those guys used to excite the audience.
For sure. Those big names used to really, really get the crowd going. And you mentioned Goldberg. Now, Goldberg is known for his power moves. He's known for his big, strong...
Spear.
That's what I was working my way to, that spear. And I know you've got a mean spear. Would you say your spear is the best spear in South African wrestling? That's a question. I want to put you on the spot.
To answer that question, I learned how to do a spear when I was a kid because I used to play rugby in primary school. So I guess that's where it was actually very natural for me to spear somebody.
Of course, yeah.
And I was watching wrestling from the time I was a kid. As far as I can remember, I cannot remember which age I started watching wrestling, but I was watching, seeing what's there, and whenever I had the opportunity, I used to look at wrestling, even the repeats. So as I grew older, I started watching WWP, which is now called Champions Pro Wrestling, and seeing guys like the Blacksmith, Bursian, to name a few. And I started wrestling at the age of 18.
So how many years into wrestling is that now? 12 years?
That was from the year 2010. So right now it'll be 13 years.
So you're a veteran in the game by now. You definitely have some experience behind you. You're getting to those veteran levels now. You're no longer that young boy. Now you got to go for titles, which is the question I wanted to ask you. You don't have gold around your waist right now, okay? And obviously there's a new CPW All-African champion, being Mike Zander. Obviously Mr. Wrestling is the current CPW champion, but we know Ananzi's got a shot first at that title. Do you have your eyes on any gold in your near future?
To answer that question, yes, I do have my eyes on one of the gold. And of course, I was the ex-WWP Tag Team Champion. And I was the first Indian in history to hold that title. It was back in 2016. It was actually in my hometown. I won the title.
Oh.
And it was a historical event.
That's awesome.
And it was a three-way tag match between Sean Kun and Johnny Palazzo, the Italian Stallion, Hotaru and Super X, and Joshua the Bull and Shadow.
That's awesome. So, obviously we don't have tag titles right now in CPW, but who's your eye on? Sorry, who is your eye on? Mike Zander or Mr. Wrestling? The big one or the one just below that? Come on, you gotta say.
What I'll say, you have to aim for the stars.
For
So
sure.
you aim for the big one, of course.
You gotta go for Mr.
I guess
Wrestling.
everybody's after that title.
Do you not think Mike Zander would be a little bit vulnerable right now, seeing as he's the new champion? He's feeling hot right now. He's feeling on top of the world. And do you not think that's a good time to, what's the saying, where you strike the iron while it's hot? Is that the saying? Could be the completely wrong saying, but to try get at him while he's feeling super confident and maybe overconfident.
I would say he's quite confident, and he's confident in himself regarding him being a champion because he wrestled out of the country and he trained out of the country. So, and he has years of experience. And whenever I watch these promos, I used to watch it twice. That's how much I enjoyed it as a person. And that guy is very skilled. He's out of this world. So I'll give him credit where it's actually due.
For sure.
But he has to stay focused.
That's the thing. Do you think he could handle a spear from Joshua the Bull?
No in hell.
Can anybody
We just
handle
have to-
a spear from Joshua the Bull? Can Mr. Wrestling handle a spear from Joshua the Bull?
Only time will tell when
Only
you
time will
both step
tell.
into that square circle.
For sure. And
We have to meet him there.
hopefully one day we see that happen. And it could happen if you win the tournament that is coming up at the Arnold's, the CPW tournament that is coming up at the Arnold's this weekend coming up. If you win that tournament, you get a title shot. So that tournament's obviously over 2 days. I think it's about 4 matches if you reach the final. So a lot of endurance, a lot of fitness, a lot of motivation and desire is needed. And those are all things that Arnold Schwarzenegger preaches. Do you think you have what it takes to win 4 matches over 2 weekends, over 2 days, win the finals, and take on Mr. Wrestling? Or Anansi, depending on who eventually wins between that match.
Okay, to answer your question regarding that, I am physically fit. I train very hard. And I take the advice that Arnold actually gave us. In fact, he gave the world that advice. Work your ass off and never, ever listen to the naysayers. So if you have a goal, you chase after it at all cost. And always listen to motivational videos regarding him. And he has such an inspiring story. So I'll take that advice first. And I'm ready to spear my way to victory.
I like it.
Wherever it leads me.
I like it.
And regarding Anansi, he's actually was from the time I was a kid, my favorite South African wrestler. Growing up watching Anansi, finally meeting him in the ring.
So it could
Only
be
time will tell.
Could be a full circle story, that going from having him be one of your favorites to, if he beats Mr. Wrestling and you win the tournament, at some point you could be facing him for the title. If that happens, if that happens. But now, the tournaments and the whole event that we'll be joining you at is the Arnold Sports Festival. And seeing as you're also a bodybuilder, as we can see, I mean, look at you standing there. I mean, we can see you clearly a bodybuilder. And Arnold is quite obviously known, or was known, for his bodybuilding back in the day. Not only that, but also the Hollywood movies and everything. How special is it for you to be actually competing at an event ran by, I'd assume, one of your heroes, judging by the route you've taken in your life and judging by what you've said? How important and how special is it for you to be competing at this event?
It will actually be like an honor for me for Arnold to actually watch us wrestle, because this is his convention, of course. And also, like, regarding the wrestling part, we have to be very focused on that. Never mind if Arnold is going to be there or not. I treat it like every other match. You have to be 100% focused. And you have to give your all. You have to be very determined. You have to have a lot of stamina, of course. And you have to give it your all.
For sure, I mean...
So,
carry on.
No, carry on.
Obviously, Arnold preaches things like motivation, determination, discipline most of all. And I think these are all things that you actually need to compete in a tournament over 2 days. If you don't have the discipline, the motivation, the desire, all of those factors, I don't think you'll succeed at all. And seeing as you live by Arnold's words, or not necessarily live by Arnold's words, but you take his words into account, you definitely feel you're ready for this event. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes, I am ready for this event.
It's good to hear. It's good to hear. Now, with regards to the Arnold event, we've got tryouts happening at this event. So, any old Joe, as long as you are fit and of age, can actually try out at the event and become, who knows, maybe the next wrestler, the next big star in South African wrestling. What do you have to say to people who are thinking about trying out or hesitant to try out, or maybe like, I don't want to get hurt? What do you have to say to those people?
Regarding professional wrestling, you have to be very passionate about the game, because if you're not passionate, you're not going to go very far. And it actually makes me very happy to see young guys or whoever that want to try out, because it actually shows the determination and how eager people are to become a professional wrestler. It actually reminds me of the time when I wanted to become a wrestler, where I used to like attend wrestling shows, help put up rings, and one day I said to myself, I'll one day be stepping into the ring, and here I am right now.
That's awesome. You really started from the bottom, worked your way into the industry, and then found yourself in the ring. It's a really cool story to hear that you weren't just straight into the ring. You did a little bit of dirty work, set up the rings, set up this and that, and that's good to hear. And I think that's what I think some people are going to have to do to get into the position that you are now. It's hard work.
Yes, it's a lot of hard work.
For sure.
Even from being the talent in the ring, or compared to the being involved in the people that actually set up the arena, both work just as hard.
I agree. I think the behind the scenes work is often of the time forgotten about and underappreciated. But that's with any industry. People want to see what they see. They don't care about what's behind the scenes. Now, I wanted to ask you, here's a question. Who is your dream opponent? And I want you to think outside of South African pro wrestling, because I think at some point you'll face just about everybody within the space here. I want you to dream big. Who's your dream opponent?
Okay, I had a lot of dream opponents. Okay, my favorite wrestler is The Undertaker. Right now he's retired, so I doubt I'll have a match with that guy. He's out of the ring.
For sure, yeah.
I don't think he'll ever step back into the ring.
I doubt it. So who are we saying that is currently active?
Right now in WWE, I would say it's a very tough question. You actually put me on the spot. There's a lot of good guys out there. There's guys like David Scooter. Yes. Roman Reigns is one of them.
I was gonna say Spear versus Spear. Bobby Lashley, Roman Reigns. Those are what I would like to see.
Those are very brutal guys.
Exactly. And I want to see two big men just going at it, just hitting each other hard, spear versus spear. I think that's how you get the best match out of you, in my opinion. I don't know what you think about that. Go for it.
And also there's guys like Devin Shooter, who actually resides in Canada.
Yes.
He's quite good.
Yes, for sure.
I actually fought him in my hometown.
Did you get the win?
No, he actually cheated and actually got the win over me.
So you need to get your revenge at the end of the day. So I think maybe a match with you and Devin Shooter should be on the cards at some point.
Okay.
Hopefully
one day.
Hopefully.
And there's, as you said, Spear versus Spear, like Bobby Lashley, Goldberg, and there's a tons of wrestlers out there.
For sure. Okay, Joshua, I think it was great having you on. Great to hear what you have to say. Great to hear your opinion on the Arnolds and what you have to say about Arnold himself, being as he's an inspiration to you. Is there anything else you want to say before we go?
Okay, regarding Arnold, okay, it's a big honor for him to be there. And I think we'll be motivated, and he's an icon of bodybuilding. And he's a movie star. So having a movie star like that, and he also gives back a lot of motivational talks, and whatever he actually says actually makes a lot of sense.
It really does.
And I have a message for all the people who are watching this interview. Whatever you're after, just chase after it at all costs. Whatever you're actually passionate about, chase after it at all costs, because you only have one life.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Those are good words to live by, good words to take to heart. And yeah, thank you, Joshua, for joining us in this video. Anyways, guys, we'll see you in the next video. Take care.